Good afternoon, my mates. Thanks for the chat earlier. And yes, you are 100% right. We in a good space, and the draws that we've got going at the moment are working really, really well. We're in a really nice phase here. So, as we had discussed, it's kind of matching a few different things. All right, but that's not the difficult part. They work, and the difficult part is that they are subtle. Okay, so obviously a couple of months ago, really clicked over, particularly with the athletic right leg and the really nice strike position in terms of the hip and the handle, and we shot those really, really good scores. It kind of clicked it itself in, whereas now it's about matching the path and arm depth of the backswing to the transition to that posture and getting that club square. So it's kind of a lot, but it's all about working or understanding or feeling how it all works together. All right. And again, it's so subtle. That's the difficult part of it. It's not that difficult that the moves themselves are that difficult. It's subtle. So our drills are sort of exaggerating the moves to a certain degree, whereas our golf swing and putting it all together is a little more subtle. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at, right? Remember why we're there. Obviously, the weather and the course conditions are just holding us back just slightly, but just remember why we're there, to stay on top of short game. Okay, always stay on top of that short game. That when we do start swinging well, or synchronizing that swing more often, that the putter is ready and the short game is ready to really pay off all of that hard work. Okay, right, so where we at? So the draws are working nicely. Okay, so we're going to keep those. Where we at? We're trying to match the setup in terms of how far I stand from the ball, how wide I stand, and this good posture. Okay, so none of this, none of that on the heels. To the string path. Okay, we obviously want this thing a little more upright with a little natural drop of the club. Okay, then and change of arm depth. Okay, and then beautiful sequencing and lower body rotation to get that club square. And we're just trying to match those things up as we go. All right. Okay, so we're starting with L to L as always. That gets the hinge and the arm depth good, so that we don't go over here. Just remember to do it a bit narrower. You've been doing it quite wide. Okay, and obviously we can't really drive forward in this drill, so it promotes us to hit a little behind the golf ball. Right, so quite narrow with the L to L. Okay, and balls under the heels for the engaged setup. Okay, it's worked really well last week. The start was too wide, but these L to Ls worked really well last week. But the path and arm depth, okay, a little bit out. Okay, so just keep working on it. Okay, L to L, nice and balanced, yeah? Okay, then what we're going to do is drill 2. So loop to loop, working really, really well. Okay, but what worked or was partly responsible for a really, really good phase we got into a couple of months ago was this impact position rehearsal, where head and weight are forward, hands are a little forward, hip is a little bit open. Okay, so what we're going to alternate. Okay, so alternate between loop to loop. So loop to loop first rep. Okay, and then second rep, impact rehearsal. So the idea is loop to loop with the impact rehearsal. Yeah, but let it come to you, yeah? Okay, so it's loop to loop, 1 rep, impact position rehearsal next rep. And you're trying to sort of loop and get into that impact rehearsal. Okay, you kind of call it a Matty Wolf. It's pretty much what Matty Wolf does. Okay, way out, big drop. He releases that left heel on the way back. Okay, plant and drop, open to square the club. Okay, anyway, I'm getting off topic, but little things, right? All right, so that's drill number 1. Then drill number 2 is wedge under the heel. Right. Okay. I actually like doing it like this. Okay, wedge under the heel. Get the setup right. Okay. Yeah, And then we're progressing. Sorry, I don't know why I'm shouting. Then we're progressing, okay, to then releasing that hip, knee, and heel just after impact. So we want to feel that club. So after you've done a few, okay, you do it. Okay, where you let everything go. Okay, obviously we'll review the videos, see how the posture and arm depth matches, because that is very close to how we want to swing. Okay, it's a very, very subtle loop, okay, with release that wedge under the right heel just after impact. Okay, it's pretty much where we're trying to be with the swing. Okay, so very similar to last week because obviously it's working really well. Find those slots and body positions and arm depths for what you can do on the golf course. Obviously, the leaning towards the loop on the golf course, that's very close to what we're going to do. If we don't quite time it, or the hips don't quite open enough, and we hit a couple of pushes, it's absolutely fine for now. It's better than obviously, as you said, the shank's pretty much gone, so I'm not worried. But it's better than the pull, definitely, and less destructive, generally speaking. Okay, so just keep working through it. I'll review your videos tomorrow, and then obviously we're going to take those feels to the course on Saturday, but that's kind of where we're at. Okay, set up, little loop. Okay, you've got to have an upright enough backswing for that little loop, but as we loop, we're not sliding. Okay, loop, impact to square the club. Okay, we're just marrying them as we go. Okay, thanks, all, mate. Enjoy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay, thanks as always.